And seeing none, I'll call the scheduled meeting of the Kingston City Council to order. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand. I'd like to lead us in invocation. Mr. Childs, will you lead us in the pledge of the flag?
Pray with me, please. Our Heavenly Father, once again, we come to you with grateful hearts, thanking you for a country that we live in, that we can meet here as a body, do the business for the city of Kingston and their citizens. We ask that each one of us keep our minds open in the discussion. We ask that you keep us ever aware of the needs of others, and we give you praise every day. But most of all, we thank you for your Son who died on the cross for our sins. And in your name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Brown.
Present.
Councilmember Childs.
Present.
Councilmember Griffiths.
President.
Vice Mayor Humphries.
Present.
Councilmember Stockton. Councilmember Wright.
Present.
Mayor Neal.
President, let me know Ms. Stockton's on the phone on the conference call tonight. Do I hear a motion to approve the previous minutes as written?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
The motion is second. Do you see any corrections or additions to the minutes?
I do not.
Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on the minutes, please?
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Childs.
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries.
Yes.
Councilmember Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Neal.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Then we set aside the time for citizens' comments. If anyone wishing to address the council tonight, you please come to the podium and give your name and address and address the council.
Good evening, council members. Ashley Freeberg, 311 Lake Street, Harriman, 37748. I'm a prevention coordinator with the Roane County Anti-Drug Coalition. We've had the opportunity in the past to come before you for signed proclamations, and we thank you for your continued support. Tonight, we're here to educate and advocate for a new proposal for a new or amended smoke-free ordinance in the city of Kingston that would now include not only the language of tobacco products, but all vaping products to be prohibited at all parks and greenways in the city of Kingston. We are proud that this is a youth-led initiative, and we have one member from Cherokee Middle School who has worked really hard on her statement tonight, so I'm going to ask that she come up and present before you. Thank you.
Ms. Fine.
Hello, my name is Maddie Gantro. I'm in the 6th grade at Cherokee Middle School. I am here tonight to ask you to consider amending or creating a smoke-free ordinance in the city of Kingston to protect myself and other youth for harmful effects for secondhand smoke from tobacco products and vaping products called side street smoke. Please consider adding this important ordinance discussion on next month's agenda for our youth to enjoy parks without the sights and smells of nicotine products. Thank you, council members.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, council members, for allowing us to have our voice heard tonight. I do have 2 model ordinances that were recently passed in the city of Clinton and in the city of Oak Ridge. So if I may approach for your dissemination to the council members.
Yeah, we'll get them passed out. We can look at that and see if we can add that to the agenda for us to discuss in our May workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the council tonight? Ms. May.
That was a very good job. I'm glad I went after you. I'm Pam May with Roane Alliance at 1209 North Kentucky Street in Kingston. I just wanted to thank you guys for your continued support of the Roane Alliance and your contribution. Hope we can count on you again this fiscal year. The Visitors Bureau will be sponsoring the Smoke in the River again this year. So I wanted you guys to know that I just talked to Debbie. We're going to work with her on getting the radio advertising paid. We love when marketing is done, and we love to partner on those things. So those are what we look for. I also hope I can help facilitate some art money for you on Ladd Park, and that's one reason I was here tonight, just to show support, and I'll do anything I can to help you guys with that. And I want to personally invite you to the Roane Alliance Gala on May 6th. So hope to see you guys there. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the council tonight? Ms. Hamilton.
Nancy Hamilton, 2623 Longville Road. On behalf of the constituents of District 5 and 6, we want to say thank you to the City of Kingston for what you did on Sunday to recognize Coach Bruce Robinette, and all you've done to help our student athletes and our students in Roane County, but just especially for Kingston at Southwest Point. We really appreciate it. So thank you for all you've done.
Thank you. Anyone else want to wish to address the council tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll go into reports. We'll start with Mr. Griffiths. Do you have anything to report tonight?
Yes, the local altar last Friday at the library was a success. I went by there for a little bit, good crowd, good turnout, and we're having a regular meeting this Thursday at 5 o'clock, and they want to come to it at the library.
Thank you. Ms. Ryan, do you have anything?
I don't. Everything I want to discuss is on the agenda.
Mr. Brown?
All my reports are lengthy. That's the reason your packet's so big. We had the 911, we've gone to a quarterly meeting, back to a quarterly meeting, and then the annual Solid Waste Advisory Board that you've appointed me to, they meet yearly, and that report is in there for you to read.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Childs?
A lot of comments on the sidewalk. Looks like we're down to the last section of it being done. Really looking good. Southwest Point, ball field lights. I mean, it's every day we hear something good about that. I'm real proud of that. And if you have any questions, already reported in your package.
Ms. Evers, do you have anything to report?
Most of the Park and Rec stuff is also in the packet, but I just want to remind everyone that Springfest is April 23rd.
I had something to report, but I dropped the ball on it. I have to do it next month. Mr. Bowling, I'll turn it over to you, City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things here in addition to my written report. As most of you probably know by now, the work, I'll say it's concluded for now. It hasn't concluded, but it's concluded for now for Ladd Park, the ramp. It is now open. It's being used. As you know, there's some issues with finishing it before the water started going up. TWRA is committed to coming back next year to finish, but it is open and usable. So glad to at least have that progress made in terms of Ladd Park. Also, of course, tonight on the agenda is the resolution for the ARC grant. The grant application itself has been submitted. We'll be sending the resolution in once it's approved. And I was told today that our project has been approved for funding. So we should be in their system as soon as next week possibly. So very good news on that, and a lot of exciting work to come. The SDP project for Ladd Boulevard, we'll be having our kickoff meeting with TDOT and Arcadis. That'll be held virtually on Thursday afternoon at 2:30. If any of you would like to participate in that, just let me know as soon as possible so we can let TDOT know and get you on the list for that. Another thing that's been delayed for a long time, I'm glad to see that coming to fruition. Only other thing I have to report, you may have heard last week or seen that the traffic lights at Morrison Hill were hit again. Had 2 lights knocked off and destroyed. There's a bucket truck that was escorting a big Navy boat that was coming through town, and they hit it with their bucket, knocked the 2 lights off, and left the scene. I just happened to be there getting gas and saw it happen, so the police were able to catch up with them, and we made contact with a company in Texas that was contracted for the bucket truck, and they'll be getting billed and agreed to pay all the cost on that. So we'll be getting that to them, and I think that's all I have unless you have any questions.
Ms. Stockton, I forgot if you were on the call. Do you have anything to report?
Yes, I was just going to report the progress on the dog park, of course, is non-complete on the health day. We have a lot of stone, I guess people have seen, piled up that will be used in the front, so it'll help on the maintenance for the park director, and then we'll have more decorative park around the sign. So just didn't want people to think that was just being left. And then as far as the banners, we've had several that have sent in more applications, and of course still receiving those. And we have like 50 that will be up before Memorial Day, and then we're continuing to take more for the Veterans Day. So just letting people know that we'll keep in touch as those arrive, be installed.
All right, thank you. All right, item 7 is addition of items to the meeting agenda, and I didn't receive any. So we're going to unfinished business. Item 8 is consideration to approve the final reading of ordinance 2203-0801, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the city of Kingston, Tennessee for fiscal year 2021 and 2022. Do I hear a motion for this final reading?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ms. Wright, second by Mr. Griffiths. Ms. Wright, anything like that?
I do not.
Mr. Griffiths? Council? Madam Clerk, call the roll on item 8.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Childs.
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries.
Yes.
Councilmember Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Davis.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Item B is consideration to approve the final reading of ordinance 2203-0802, an ordinance establishing the meeting date and time for the Board of Zoning Appeals. Do I hear a motion for this one?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion from Mr. Childs. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Humphries. Mr. Childs? Ms. Humphries? Council? This kind of gets us set in the date that for our Board of Zoning Appeals, so we don't have to try to fight around and get everybody here at the same day. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on the second reading?
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Childs.
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries.
Yes.
Councilmember Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Davis.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Now into new business. Item A is consideration to approve of the allocation of the remaining $147,127 from the FY 2021 local support grant and the FY 21-22 local grant recovery and rebuild grant for paving. So what this is going to do is put an extra $147,000 in for Mr. Clark to pave streets in Kingston. Do you hear a motion for this?
Motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Griffiths. Mr. Childs?
And need it done, we'll spend more money for it.
Mr. Griffiths?
Everything's good with it. Needs to be done.
Council? Comments? Madam Clerk, call the roll on item 8.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Childs.
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries.
Yes.
Councilmember Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Davis.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Item B is consideration to authorize the reallocating of $100,000 of the $500,000 originally earmarked for the track repairs for repair and replacement of items related to the swimming pool. Do you hear a motion to reallocate this money?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Humphries, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Griffiths. Ms. Humphries?
I just think that's all things that need to be done. We do definitely need the liner. We do need all the things that were listed here, and if we don't use the money right now while we have it, we're just gonna incur those costs later and have to look for the money.
Mr. Griffiths? Council? Mr. Brown?
Has in the report that we had before, it was talking about that we needed the liner, needed a cover, needed controls, and that sort of stuff. But then there was a sentence in there that said that the swimming pool apparently was failing structurally. So were we considering putting all this money into it, knowing that we've got a problem? And I noticed reading the Parks and Recs minutes that they have formed a committee to talk about the feasibility, and I'm assuming that in there that they voted to recommend an engineer be hired. Is that correct?
Well, that was something that was suggested, and then we had Park and Rec meeting on Thursday, and JR's latest report on that is that this has been a slow, ongoing problem, and David can probably speak more on that, but this has been a slow problem that's been going on for years, and they're anticipating that when and if it gives us problem, it's going to be many years down the road, is what we're told.
That the sinking of the end is several years down the road?
That's what JR is thinking.
Mr. Bowden?
I had a conversation after our ARPA workshop with Mac McAdoe about this, and we're looking at options, trying to figure out a way to get some kind of a baseline measurement. We don't know, obviously, this could be a severe problem. It could be something that's, that may go decades without moving another inch. We don't know, but we're trying to figure out some way to shoot it, to get a baseline measurement that we can go back, every year and check it to see if there's any change. Short of that, there's no way really to know, if it's progressing. This could have been something that's been like this for years. It's a very old pool. So, but we are working to try to at least come up with a way to measure it, to keep an eye on it, see how it goes.
And I guess that's kind of my point. I would hate again to spend what money we've got set aside on other items. I think we ought to get things finished. And of course, this isn't something that we're going to do immediately because it's in the swimming pool weather. So I'm assuming all this stuff will be done next year. If we bring in a new liner, for instance, I'm assuming that when we jerk the old liner out, that we try to patch whatever's there, whether it's big or whatever. And I don't know if we don't have any cost estimate on that we need to set aside for, all we got now is just a price for the liner, I'm assuming.
Well, so we know regardless of any other issue that the line is going to have to be replaced. That's, if we want to have a pool next year, we have to have a liner. So, yes, there could be more long-term issues, but if we're going to keep the pool open, we've got to do that. Now, as far as what's underneath it, we won't know until we get the old one out. We know there are cracks in the pool. We don't know the extent of them. All the work that's on there, aside from the liner, can be done prior to the pool opening, and will need to be done. But the liner, of course, is too late, so that would be after the pool closed before we could start coordinating that.
So right now, you're thinking that, we talked about some of the pumping stuff, the pumps and the...
There's control, there's a valve that has to be replaced. It's almost inoperable. The controls have been patched together forever. If they go out, we have no way of chlorinating the pool. We'll have to chlorinate it by hand. So yeah, there are some things that need to be and will be done sooner rather than later. But no, there is no way to do the lineup before this season.
And this 100,000 covers all of that, right?
Right, I know the liner can't be done before season started, but everything else that needs to be done to get it going this year could be, correct? Anything else, Mr. Brown?
No.
Anyone else have any comments?
There again, like, on the track, I'd like to have us go and get that bid out and have it ready so that way we have a definite answer on how much it's going to cost.
It's in the works, yeah, we're working on that now. So.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown?
No.
Councilmember Childs?
No.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
No.
Mayor Dale? Two ayes, 4 nays.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know if this is even possible, but would there be any way to, I guess not, but we've got some, if we don't want to do the liner, would there be any way that we could get approval to do the other things, at least 2 of them?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we buy the controllers at the estimated $15,000.
Got a motion and a second to... A motion and a second to buy the controllers out of the $500,000 that we originally gave for the track. Yes, that money will come out of there. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Who made the motion on the second?
The second was made by Mr. Childs. Sorry.
I'm just for whatever to keep the pool for the public. And I know we have to deal with other things later on, it sounds like to me.
So are we going to revisit this then later as far as the liner?
I think we will have to revisit it later because we know we've got issues underneath it. We're going to have to, we got to have a liner. So in order to get the pool open this year, we need to do this part of it. And then look at September, October, tearing the liner out and going from there. Okay, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Thank you.
Item C is consideration to approve Resolution 2204-1201, a resolution authorizing the application to the Appalachian Region Commission requesting funds for land landing development improvements.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Is there any comments on that? I was trying to find it here to look at it. I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing. Should that be Lad Landing Development Improvements or Lad Park Development Improvements?
That's just the way they worded it, so,
Okay. I just
yeah,
wanted to
that's
make
the
sure
same.
that's where we're looking to put money.
Yeah, same thing.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Item D is consideration to approve Resolution 2204-12, which is a resolution supporting the City of Kingston's intent to fund the required 25% match to qualify for State of Tennessee ARPA non-competitive matching grant fund for water and sewer projects.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Ms. Wright, second by Mr. Brown. Ms. Wright?
Don't need to give the money away.
Mr. Brown?
Now, we just need to take advantage, and that, we got to match it, we got to match it.
Council?
Come on over there.
Madam Clerk, call the roll on that resolution, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Aye. Item E is consideration to approve the first reading ordinance 2204-1201, an ordinance amending the zoning map of Kingston, Tennessee by rezoning property from R1 residential district to R2 residential district. So a motion for this ordinance.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Ms. Wright. Mr. Childs?
More houses, more tax revenue.
Ms. Wright?
Nothing, sir.
Council, anything? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan. 6 ayes.
Item F is consideration and approval to amend the charter of the City of Kingston and change the date in which the city manager must submit a proposed budget to the City Council from April 1st to May 1st.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Griffiths, second by Ms. Humphries. Mr. Griffiths?
Anything have to leave it out?
Thank you. Get all the help I can get.
Makes him pull his hair out. Ms. Humphries? Any comments? Council? Brown?
Mr. Mayor, again, this is something that's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
That it's going to probably take it, can't do it this legislative session.
That'd be January.
It'd be January before we get started on it, and as the mayor pointed out the other day, there's some other things that probably need to be changed, that we could lump all this stuff together and send one thing down there because it'll have to go to Nashville, get approval, and then come back to us again. So this is starting a shopping list, if you will.
Right, and I think it was discussed Tuesday night that we would start getting other things that we could put into change for the charter and have it ready to go to the legislature by January. So this is the first thing we'll go ahead and get started with.
Appreciate this being item one on the list.
Any other comments? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Aye. First time we've got 2 pages of agendas. Item G is consideration of authorizing the city manager to approve an expenditure in the amount of $21,400 to Competition Athletic Services Incorporated resurfacing of the city park tennis courts. Hear a motion to authorize this expenditure.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Humphries, second by Mr. Griffiths. Ms. Humphries?
No, just, it needs to be done.
Mr. Griffiths?
I just appreciate everybody taking this in hand and consider doing it. This is something they've done for several years, those who does those activities.
Council members? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dale.
The next one wasn't discussed, we'll discuss it here, and it wasn't discussed Tuesday night, but it was added after. So consideration to authorize the city manager to approve the expenditure in the amount of $18,558.50 to Carolina Construction Equipment for the purchase of a Wacker-Newson RD12L asphalt road for funds raised through the sale of surplus equipment. Do I hear a motion to approve this expenditure beginning on the floor?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bowling now, because he called me about this before we couldn't talk about Tuesday night, and he didn't have any of his ideas.
Yeah, we didn't have all the information. Turn the volume of the microphones up
But we can tell.
so people could hear it. And the reason it's humming is because some people are leaving their microphones on after they talk, and it's picking it up. So.
But at least they got them on tonight.
Yeah, so everybody ought to be able to hear us. Yeah, so this didn't come up at the workshop. We didn't have all the information, but this is something that we've needed in Public Works. We have the opportunity to pay for it out of all the surplus equipment you've been letting them get rid of, which has made a big dent. And again, we've wanted to put that money to use. So this is something that's been needed, that is essentially free money. So is your approval for Tim to go ahead and get this taken care of.
Ms. Humphries, do you have anything?
No.
Mr. Griffiths?
No.
Council members? Seeing none, call the roll on the approval of the expenditure.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Childs,
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dale.
Item I is consideration to approve the allocation of $175,000 of the American Rescue Plan funds to go towards a 50/50 ARP collaboration with Jerome County for the purchase of property adjacent to Lad Park. Councilmember Wright.
Yes, here's another addition that we weren't able to discuss on Tuesday, but this kind of came together at the last moment. When we started our ARC grant writing for Lad Park and we had the engineering done, we kind of was able to look at how many parking spaces we might be able to get out of there. And although there will be a significant change in the number of parking spaces, it still isn't quite enough. And so we talked to some adjacent property owners, and they are willing to make this addition to our park, which would be the most significant waterfront acreage added to our park system in quite some time. And through talking with about this, the county has been agreeable to possibly using some of their ARPA funds on projects that are ready to go in other cities. And it seems to be they are willing to spend $175,000 of their ARPA funds if we are willing to match that. So I hope you all will consider doing this. I think it will be a significant improvement to our upcoming further project in Lad Park.
Are you making that in form of a motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion.
Okay, is there a second? Second. Motion by Ms. Wright, second by Mr. Childs. We've heard Ms. Wright's comments. See Mr. Childs yet?
How many parking places more will that give us over there?
Well, we haven't had the chance to have that engineered. Right now, we're 175, so we're hoping to get at least 75 or 100 more. But we won't know until it's surveyed, engineered. When we had the engineering done for the pre-application for ARC, they actually were showing part of that property to be addition to that park. We told them they had to remove it because we don't own that property. But it kind of got the wheels rolling on that, so hopefully we can make this addition, but we won't know until a survey is done. But this is just a resolution to send to the county. There's many more steps to go after this. This is just to kind of get the ball rolling and let the county know that we are willing to match our funds with their funds.
I have several questions.
Ms. Eldridge.
Because I was actually asked about this by a citizen yesterday, that we had already allocated this money, and I wasn't aware that we had. On this parking, well, for one thing, I know that this has to go through the county commission. I know Mr. Bell's here. I don't know if he has any feeling about how that would go, but is this going to be strictly for additional parking that we're talking about buying this property?
That's the thought.
And so then where are we going to get the money for the paving and all that? Is that going to be something additional that we need to look at?
Well, most immediately, we hope that we'll be able to tap into extra ARC money. The maximum, we don't know yet how much we've been funded for. The normal maximum on that was $500,000, and because they think they weren't going to have as many applicants as they thought, there could be a chance we could get an extra $100,000. So certainly that could be applied to it. Beyond that, beyond that pot of money, it would be a matter of you all allocating any improvements or seeking other grant money or what have you. But obviously we couldn't do anything grant money wise without owning the property.
So just to be clear, since we didn't discuss this previously, if this is basically a resolution to go to the county saying we are willing to commit this amount of money, if they are.
Anyone else? Mr. Brown?
Do you know whether or not this will have any effect on this is out of their unrestricted fund. That doesn't have anything to do with the utility money that we're going to ask them about.
No, doesn't have anything to do with it. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Aye.
6 ayes.
Item J is consideration to authorize the disposal of surplus items. I added that to the agenda, as you see at the end of the packet. There's like 2 items we want to put on surplus. Can we get a motion to surplus these 2 items?
I'll make one.
Second.
Mr. Childs, second Mr. Childs, any discussion?
Ready to get rid of it.
Ms. Humphries?
No, he about summed it up.
Council? Madam Clerk, call the roll on dispose of these surplus items.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Newman?
Aye.
6 ayes.
So that's the end of the agenda for the city council meeting's adjourned. We'll go into the regular meeting of the Kingston Beer Board. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll for Beer Board?
Member Brown?
Present.
Member Childs?
Yes.
Member Griffiths?
Yes, President.
Vice Chair Humphries?
Present.
Member Stockton? Member Wright?
Present.
Chairman Newman?
Present. To hear a motion to approve the previous minutes is written.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Clerk, call the roll on the minutes, please.
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Childs?
Yes.
Member Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphries?
Yes.
Member Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Newman?
Aye.
6 ayes.
Nothing to come before the Beer Board tonight. This meeting's adjourned. Now we'll go to the regular meeting of the Kingston Beer Board. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll for order, please?
Member Brown?
Present.
Member Childs?
Present.
Member Griffiths?
President.
Vice Chair Humphries?
Present.
Member Stockton? Member Wright?
Present.
Chairman Newman?
Present. To hear a motion to approve the previous minutes is written.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Griffiths, second from Mr. Childs. You see any corrections or deletions to minutes? Madam Clerk, I think we need to work on that a little bit.
We'll fine tune it before next month.
Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Childs?
Yes.
Member Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphries?
Yes.
Member Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.
6 ayes.
And now we set aside a time for citizens' comments. Do we have anyone wishing to address the water board tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll go to the utility director's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The utility director's report is in front of you in writing. I just wanted to point out a couple of things, call attention to them. One, you'll notice the installation of the new extension on Orchard Road is complete. They're waiting on dry weather to finish cleaning up on that, but really happy to see that done and that expansion of our service. So good news there. Also, I attended a workshop, a TDEC workshop in Cookville last week, an ARPA workshop. Some of the information was repetitive, but there was some good useful information. I'm trying to get the slides from those, from that meeting that I can share, but I believe April 18th, there's a virtual workshop that's being held. If any of you want to, are interested in that, let me know and we can get you the information on it. As Kevin points out, he is still waiting on some cost estimates, but we should start vetting that prioritized list very soon and have that to you to take a look at. So be keeping an eye out for that, and that's all I have unless you have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for the utility director? There is no new business to come before the water board. Is there anything to be addressed by the water board tonight? Seeing nothing, this meeting's adjourned.